Murphy?
Yes.
The floor is open to the public to speak on whatever subject they would like.
You come up, please state your name and address and sign in. You'll be given 5 minutes.
I'll sign in after. Nick Homiak. I have one quick question. Who in this town is the noise control officer? It's no big hurry to enter that. When Mayor Soriano has his town hall presentation for Lower Lake Hiawatha, I'm going to have to take up a contention with him about the lax sanitation and enforcements that are going on all over the place, but I only live in Parsippany. But the New Jersey Mandatory Source Separation and Recycling Act, here's a letter here put out in 2013 to the businesses along North Beverwick. I guess you could say compared to the way it was, it's much better, but it's still substandard. There's some, I believe that we're going about it all wrong. And I just want to read something real briefly here. This is from Morris County. Everyone is a waste generator and must keep the recyclable materials listed below separate from garbage, whether at home, at work, or play. If a location does not have separate receptacles for these mandated recyclable materials, speak to the management and tell them recycling is the law. Supposedly, our municipality has done that, but I guess there's a communication breakdown. Waste generators include, but are not limited to, residents, multi-family, single-family, hotels, office buildings, businesses, schools, restaurants, shopping centers, medical facilities, government buildings, recreation areas, and construction sites. Here's what it looks like at the MU municipal utility. Beautiful, right? But you ever see anything like that in Parsippany? I know I brought this up before. This is another one. You won't see anything like that in Parsippany. Saving all this for the mayor. And here we have a gas station. Everywhere you look in our town, anybody could throw anything anywhere. There's so many loose ends. And we already have the one-stream recycling, so that already discourages any, I guess it's like hopeless, so put it all together and sort it out. But when a business along North Beverwick is allowed to use municipal receptacles for their private business, that should end. And I think a private enterprise or business could do better if they manage their own solid waste. Why should you go to the Kebab Paradise or any place, have a can of soda or water, and then either leave it on the street or the sidewalk or stick it in a municipal container? And they have the two containers, one for waste, one for recycles. They're all mixed. The town alleges that they separate it all. I find it hard to believe. But if you just heard what I read in the beginning, they should have their own. It's like the private is, they're using our taxpayers' money for our, using our waste containers, and then our municipal workers have to come, and especially at a place like the Kebab Paradise, for just one example, how much labor does that entail just to keep them cans clean and everything? And now they're contaminated. The Chinese don't even want our waste anymore because it's contaminated. There's no discipline. Restaurants, food waste, recyclables left in a plastic bag. You gotta remember, we had rats there in Parsippany. They can come back at any time with these sanitation conditions, especially with the mixed food in the summertime on the sidewalk. We're getting below the standards. There's a few excuses here. Where are they? I find interesting. see if I can get, Morris County's,
30 seconds.
oh, okay, well, I'm not gonna have time for it all, so I'll take it up with the mayor. But instead of having a resolution about something that never happened about pot, why don't we have a resolution about getting our standard of living and quality of life back here up in Parsippany. And on the marijuana issue, it's strange. There's an author, Emily Dufton, and she's a college professor in New York City, I believe, and she wrote a book, and it's called Grassroots Rise and Fall and Rise of Marijuana in America. We're rehashing the same thing over and over again. You go back 50, 60 years, the government of the United States was saying there's nothing wrong with marijuana. But politics gets involved, and the next thing you know, there's a problem with it again. Nancy Reagan, for example. But, all right, I'll take this up with the mayor.
Thank you.
My name is Bob Venezia. I live at 102 Brooklawn Drive. At the last council meeting, there was a member of the public that revealed some interesting facts about one of the departmental heads that were appointed by this administration. After some research, it seems that that speaker's allegations are all true. All of them can be found in a 2014 consent order issued by the New Jersey Deputy Attorney Patricia Sharipio. In that consent order, the Parsippany employee admitted to violations of the New Jersey Consumer Fraud Act. And he accepted punishments that included a $10,000 fine, 400 hours of community service, and a permanent ban from the restaurant business. A resume of this type should have disqualified the candidate from holding any position of importance in this administration. For whatever reason, the appointment was made, but I want to make it clear that I'm not now asking that any action be taken against this employee. However, I would like to remind you that ultimately, an administration can only be judged by its actions. Filling a position that had been vacant for 14 years with a person of this dubious background will not be remembered as one of this administration's finer moments. Thank you.
Thank you. My name is Lefty Grimes. I'm from East Hanover. I'd like to speak about the ordinance tonight, the cannabis ordinance. But first I wanted to say that the wheelchair access, the button still doesn't work. I mentioned it last time, it doesn't work. And if you had someone who was sick and dying in the wheelchair here in the room and there was a fire, where are they supposed to go? There's 2 doors here with no ramps. Are we supposed to like throw them out the door? I don't know. That's just something we need to think about. If you're in a wheelchair, you'd kind of be stuck in this room. So just to mention that. We need to keep the sick and dying first and foremost in our mind. I worked for Bell Labs for 21 years, and I worked at Crawford Hill. And I used to hang out with Bob Wilson and play volleyball with Bob Wilson up on top of Crawford Hill. There's a volleyball net up there, and there's the horn antenna. And Bob Wilson did research, and he won a Nobel Prize for his research. And I would ask you, sir, to do the research that a Bell Labs alum would do on the cannabis issue. That's all we're asking, is to do more research. Some of your comments last week made me believe that you didn't do as much research as you probably could have, and I think the people of this town and the sick and the dying, people with cancer, deserve that research from you. There are people here with cancer, there are people here with children with special needs, and they need your help. As a Christian, you have to help these people. It's when I get into activism, I never thought I would see the things that I've seen here. And it actually, it seems like it's a lot of responsibility, and I had to make myself a better activist, and I'm still trying to make myself a better activist because I'm representing people that are dying. And it's a huge task to take on. And it's very sad because a lot of my friends have died. 1 out of 10 patients die every year, and I've lost a lot of friends. And I talked about this last time. My friend Armando, he couldn't afford cannabis, and there was no cannabis in his area in Newark, so he got it off the street for his cancer. And he shouldn't have had to do that. It's stress. And if you know about cancer, you know stress is the worst thing for cancer. Very bad. And the fact that patients have to come up here and beg for their lives for you guys, it's stressful. And it's very important that you guys listen to them, because they are begging for their lives. Some of these people have to drive an hour and a half to get their medicine, or their families have to drive an hour and a half to get their medicine. That's not right, because they choose not to take OxyContin. They choose not to take fentanyl. I was on OxyContin for 10 years. I lost my Bell Labs job. I was on Bell Labs for 21 years. I can't work there anymore because I fell and I broke my back. And I was on opiates for 10 years. I was on OxyContin, roxicodone, Valium. My roxicodone prescription was 90 milligrams every 3 hours. So if I can get off OxyContin and roxicodone with my level of pain, I have stenosis, I have an artificial disc, I have a fusion. If I can get off OxyContin, anybody can. And it's an exit drug for me. And I need a dispensary close to me. I have to drive an hour out of my way right now to get my cannabis. And I would love to come to Parsippany to buy my cannabis here, and I would love to use your restaurants and come here. And I would just ask, if you do get a dispensary in Parsippany, please have wheelchair access. They shall grow not old, as we that are left grow old. Age shall not weary them, nor the years condemn. At the going down of the sun and in the morning, we will remember them.
Mr. Grimes, I just want to just address the issue of the wheelchair access. We do keep that door open, but I did notice today that the button on the inside does work, but
Right.
you are correct, the button on the outside does not, so we will work in an expedient manner to get that fixed immediately, just so you're aware.
Thank you, sir.
I'm Rose Mcgill from Lawrenceville, New Jersey, regarding cannabis issue. When you try to ban, outlaw, or restrict the use of cannabis as a medicine, you are contributing to an 81-year campaign that has been run under false pretense. The United States government ran a coordinated campaign with the big money, high pollution industries of the day to remove cannabis and hemp from the farming industry because it stood in the way of their profits. And they used Mexicans and other minorities as their tool to scare and brainwash people. This plant is an environmentally safe alternative that can be used, most importantly, as a safe medicine, but also a healthy food. It can be used to replace fossil fuels, steel, building materials, paper, plastic, body care products, and nutritional supplements. And it cleans the soil as it grows. Instead, by banning it, we are stuck in the toxic pollution and the deadly pharmaceutical nightmare we live in today. The cheap, high pollution industries have poisoned our air, land, drinking water, rivers, oceans, our seafood, and our entire food chain, which are all laced with toxic chemicals. We have birth control and every other synthetic drug flowing into our drinking water. At this rate, we're going to pollute the human race out of existence, and soon enough. Cannabis is one of the most complex and versatile plants on the planet and has been used by humans as long as Earth itself. And we are not going to stop now because a few towns in New Jersey want to ban it. Banning it has a proven statistical record of complete failure. So I would recommend that instead of banning it and trying to hide it from people, that you face it head on, learn about its uses, learn why people want it, teach your citizens the truth about it, and learn how to use it and prescribe it properly. Stop using people's lives to run up your arrest numbers and your economic numbers and your incarceration rates. Stop force-feeding people toxic combinations of synthetic drugs. Stop polluting my food and water. As with every living thing on this planet, cannabis was put on this earth for a reason. It is part of our ecosystem for a reason. When you remove it from the chain, you disrupt life itself. As a medicine, it restores the body to equilibrium and homeostasis. Your body was designed to receive THC and CBD. That is why it stays in your system for 30 days, because it is good for your health. It is called the endocannabinoid system. When cannabis was banned, we lost 80 years worth of research and are now still virtually ignorant of its full power. Do not go down as a contributor to this disgraced history. If you want to contribute to the health of your community, you should welcome a dispensary and a learning center to go along with it. Thank you.
No. We'll give these another moment.
Hi, everybody. I'm Timothy Finnerty with 67 Smithfield Court, Basking Ridge, New Jersey. How are you? I'll sign in. I want to talk about this great opportunity with cannabis. I myself have lost 175 pounds using medical marijuana instead of psychotropic medications for childhood-induced PTSD. I come from one of those alcoholic homes that were really bad. My brother even shot me when I was 13 years old with a .38, framed for it. He was an opioid addict at the time. That's when Big Pharma really gave out the opioids, back when I was around 13 years old and my brother got hooked on them when he got his hand injured while he was working his way to college at King Supermarket in Summit, New Jersey. I am the last of a family of addicts that have died. I'm the youngest, but I have about 30 years of recovery in 12-step rooms. And I gotta tell you, 20 years of those recovery were polluted by psych meds. They sold me everything from Seroquel to ADD meds to antidepressants to Ambien. We all got mixed up, and somewhere along the way, let me give you some credentials as well. I have a master's degree from Rutgers University in HR, the top school in the country. I also attended Seton Hall University to get a counseling and psychology master's, where I attained the Chi Sigma Iota Award for having the top grades in the class. Yet I was disabled on the psychiatric meds to the point where I was up to 326 pounds and legally disabled. And the doctors thought I was far gone, bipolar, untreatable, and I didn't have to work, and I collected alimony from an ex-wife and basically was disabled for many years. Some 4 years ago, my doctor contracts colon cancer and dies. Another doctor picks me up and says, "You were a gunshot victim at the age of 13. Help me understand why you were never diagnosed with PTSD." Gives me a medical cannabis card, and I say, "I'm in 12-step recovery, and I'm a trained psychologist. Are you kidding me?" So I challenged myself to come off everything. And I used the 12 steps to come off the 8 psych meds, dairy, sugar, wheat, caffeine, every addiction you can think of. I wanted to test this the whole way. You guys have the Graceway drug here. It's not even a drug. It's a flower bud that's going to get us off the drugs. And this is a heck of an opportunity to help enhance the wellness of our mental health, because cannabis works much better than these psych meds. It's a heck of an opportunity to enhance and green up New Jersey again, because I think it's going to lead to a wealthier wellness from an employment side. My master's in HR. I used to work at IBM Corporation next to Trump Tower, And I see this as the iPhone of the intoxicants. This is a medicine that you're about to unleash to compete against alcohol, tobacco, gambling, and all the other isms. I think it's the harmonizer, and I think you have a heck of an opportunity. And I applaud the fact that you're thinking about putting up an ATC. And to be honest with you, I think Governor Murphy's aiming this right at the mark because it's going to be the cure for addiction, in my opinion. And it's an educated guess. It's working in my life, and I can't wait to show people how to balance their own moods and harmonize themselves with this plan. We've held back the research on this far too long. We've demonized our Graceway flower buds. We should be buying flowers for each other instead of drugs. I really look forward to seeing this opportunity go through. Thanks for your time.
Good evening, Council. My name is Jeffrey Oakes. I'm from Oceanport, New Jersey, 60 Pemberton Avenue. My thoughts aren't really fluid this evening. I had a long ride up here with my wife. Today, I finished 3 aggressive rounds of chemotherapy for my cancer. Tomorrow, I go right back in the morning for my 27th round of chemotherapy. 2 years ago, I was told I had 2 months to live. Through traditional treatment with chemo and radiation therapy and surgery, along with the use of medical cannabis, I'm still here. Sometimes I ask myself why, I don't know, but I'm here. And I'm here with a wonderful bunch of people that care. They care about the human spirit. They care about taking care of the disabled and the people that are compromised and can't take care of themselves. And I'm one of those. I'm disabled. I went through a long period of fighting my way through the system and getting Social Security. It's been a battle for me. But with this ban and how it affects this essential medicine, medication that we're all asking, for everyone to accept and remove the stigma and help us with access to this. And the Board of Health and the state of New Jersey is on board, the governor is on board with expanding access. But when plenty of people here, the group that we're loosely affiliated with, the groups, we've been to multiple council meetings, and the tone is that a lot of towns just don't want anything to do with marijuana. And that mentality, as far as the medical side of it goes, it inhibits the expansion of the program and the timing of it, and it makes it difficult, and it translates into higher prices, which are exorbitant already. So what I'm asking is to maybe take a step back, and we've seen a couple towns separate the two issues, rec and medical, and it seems to me that a lot of council people that we're talking to in these towns find it a reasonable thing to be educated on the medical side, and to remove the stigma that we're not a bunch of stoners here. I mean, this is by now this is a viable medication. I mean, everyone's heard about it for pain and nausea for cancer treatment, and it treats a whole multitude of other diseases, which you're going to hear probably tonight. So I'm just asking, to maybe step back and give it a chance and educate yourselves. You're going to hear from some folks here probably tonight that they're affiliated with the dispensaries, and they can even offer tours, but that's their part. You'll hear from them. But I would appreciate the education and the compassion that I see in some of your faces here tonight. And I appreciate your time, and have a good evening. Thank you.
Thank you.
I'll make a comment
Hello, my name's Mary Oakes. I am Jeff's wife. I'm also asking that you table this medical cannabis until you do a lot more research on it. In our town in Oceanport, we did have one councilwoman who did go to the dispensary, and she was blown away at what she saw. She had no idea. The security in there is marvelous. It's all, ex-police officers. People think that there's drug addicts and homeless people waiting to jump you outside a dispensary. That's what we're hearing in our town. It just doesn't happen. It doesn't happen. Jeff and I are also dealing with a 22-year-old son who had a horrific car accident 2 weeks after Jeff was told he had 2 months to live. And he was in the trauma unit at Jersey Shore in a coma, and he was put on 5 different oxys, different medications for pain. He was also put on Xanax. Xanax is what he got hooked on. Xanax is what he started buying on the street. Jeff and I went and got him a medical marijuana card, took him to a doctor. He's also in counseling, and he's doing magnificent now. I mean, I'm not going to jump for joy because I know how the relapse goes on that, but I just hope that everybody is really listening, and this isn't like, Cheech and Chong up in smoke and, reefer madness back in the 30s. That is not today. So please think long and hard, please, before you make a decision to ban it in the town. Thank you.
Good evening. My name is Richard Moroski. I'm from Spotswood, New Jersey. I live at 105 George Street. 24 years ago, I went to work one day and I went to lunch, and I blinked my eyes and was completely blind. I went to the doctor, and make a very long story short, I found out I have multiple sclerosis versus having a tumor. I've been on a veritable cornucopia of different drugs. Everything from very simple, this is hard to talk about, you'll have to pardon me. Everything from very simple steroids to self-injected low-dose chemo. You might be thinking to yourself, what the hell is this guy driving all the way up here for? Because 16 months ago, prior to 16 months ago, I'd been trapped in my home for 3 years, literally, due to my malady. I'm here because I know probably within driving distance of this meeting, there's someone just like me, wondering how the hell am I going to get myself out of this mess? I can't stop taking these pills. The doctor says, I think it would behoove this township that they have an alternative treatment center, a cannabis dispensary right here in Parsippany. I think there's plenty of people who would benefit from it. And I think more so than that, there are jobs that are going to be surrounding this particular issue. With those jobs, people are going to be consumers, and they're going to be spending their money. They're going to make it right here in Parsippany. There are other people who are probably going to talk more in detail about it. I know that there's fears. This is a very nice town, and there are some really nice people who live here. And I understand, like, as a council, you may be thinking branding. How's this going to brand our town? I think it'll brand your town as a safe place to come to get a medicine that won't kill you. Cannabis is 100% not toxic. It cannot kill you. The only way it could probably kill you is if a bale of it fell on you. That would probably be the only way that it could kill you. I take an incredibly concentrated form of cannabis. I will go into some detail about it if you'd like to know, but what I can tell you is the fear of dying from this, I would have been dead 500 times over by now. I think it's really important that we also remember, in doing this, Parsippany becomes a better neighbor to the surrounding townships. A far better neighbor. A neighbor that's on the cutting edge of this social justice issue that I think some people will also talk about. As we well know, there's a disparaging amount of arrests in communities that are not Caucasian. Flat out not Caucasian, they get targeted. We all know that stuff. Today, consequently, I got some pretty interesting information. This is from a medical journal called JAMA, which stands for Journal of American Medical Association. And what they have found is states that have active dispensaries saw 3.74 million fewer daily doses of opiates filled. Let that sink in. I will repeat that. States with active dispensaries saw a 3.742 million fewer daily doses of opiates filled. They looked at another statistic, and what it says here is that adult medical marijuana laws and adult use of marijuana laws were associated with lower opioid prescribing rates, ranging from 3 to 5% lower. So that tells me, if you guys really want to be socially active and you want to help out some of these people who are really caught in a bind, you have the way out. Cannabis is an exit drug. I no longer take any SSRIs, I take no Xanax, I take no pain medication whatsoever. I have intractable, constant, furious pain. I'm in it right now. I regretted having to sit in the car for an hour and 30 minutes to get here because I heard. After this meeting, I'm probably going to go medicate, and guess what? I'm going to be able to get in my car and drive home and not have to pull over 15 times. Or to straighten my fingers, or I'm sorry.
So you have 30 seconds.
Right on. I thank you very much for taking an open mind. Please, be a good neighbor. Thank you.
My name's Don Karpowich. I'm a retired special operator in the Air Force. I'm a combat controller. It's really hard to explain what I did for a living and what my brothers are doing to this day. And at this moment, they're being killed and killing people at this moment. That's happening right now. So I just want to let you, I have a documentary. I've been an activist for quite some time. And there's a mini documentary about my story that has been in the Asbury Park Press. Star Ledger owns it. Gannett owns it. Anyway, Bergen Record. I would like you to watch it's a mini documentary, about 3 minutes long. Can you see that?
Get the lights on.
Let me turn it up.
I miss my brothers. We were tight. Why was I chosen to be the one on the ground? Why? Why me? I miss my brothers. We were tight. I'll be somewhere and I'll see something and I'm right back. There was no on the ground. I wasn't dressed for it. So I get cold, I get shaky, like I'm cold. You know, I actually physically feel it. Physically feel that I'm there. It's not that I'm there just in my mind. I really physically feel that I'm there. It's a sadness. It's like my brother, he's dead. And, you know, like, what did I have to do with it? And why am I here? And that might last a few minutes. That might last a few days. One of our jobs is to make sure that the aircraft gets to where it's supposed to be. I knew where they should have been popping out of the clouds right about, and they were off course. So I guided him, get him all nice and lined up. As he flies over top the aircraft, I could see Snake Rainey in the door. He was the jump master. There were only probably 800 to 1,000. I could see him in the door, and I gave the execute, which means go, you know, let him go. They didn't go. I gave the execute again. At that point, the pilot said, we're going to go out, come back around, try it again. All right, no biggie. We kept in contact. And on the way back in, he hit a mountain. Time was of the essence. There might be somebody alive. First guy I walked up on, and he was folded in half, and he was laying there kind of looking up.
He was my team leader,
I
he
don't
was
know how long
captain.
I stood there because it was the first one I saw, but it probably wasn't long because it was like, he's dead. Next. So then we went right through each one, you know, to make sure that, okay, dead first, you know, like make sure. There were 18 people total on that aircraft.
Including
One
one
of them-
Spanish pilot that was
He dug a
observing.
hole in the ground with his heel. So he lived for a little bit, you know, trying to get up.
That's one that haunts me.
And he's a good brother. He was a good brother. Back then, therapy was get back on the horse, get back to work. Feel bad for you, give you a week or so. That's what they did.
I'm smoking a bowl right now on the screen.
I'm a 100% disabled veteran, permanently total from post-traumatic stress. Cannabis helps me. Give it to me. Simple as that. I want to live a peaceful life.
This was prior to
I don't want to live
PTSD
a
being added to
hectic,
the list.
crazy, prescription drug-driven life. Getting up, smoking some weed, chilling out. That's the rest of my life. That's what I want.
For me, to get my medicine, I have to travel down to Camden, Belmar, New Jersey, to the only place that has the oil that works for me. Regular flour, it's good for a lot of things. The oil is what changed my life. I have to have flour. He knows I'm upset. I have to have flour. It keeps me calm. It keeps me from wanting to go out and do crazy things and stupid things, like drink alcohol and beat people up and take my frustrations out on other people that don't deserve it. They didn't deserve things that I did to people. I did horrible things when I was on alcohol. Oxycodone, Xanax, Tramadol, Valium. You put them all. I've been on all of them. Alcohol, cocaine, all of that. On top of all of that. I went through all of that. Years and years and years. Right now, the only place I can get something that really makes help me is down in Camden. And I spend $1,000 a month for my medicine. I spend $1,000 a month out of my pocket for my medicine. I have to drive down there. I live in Morristown, New Jersey. I would like to come here to a good neighbor and have my medicine here, and I have to go so far. Thank you for your time.
Sir, on behalf of the council and the administration and myself, we just want to thank you for your service to this country.
Is this working? My name is Amy Roth. I live in Springfield, which is not far.
Maybe it's not working. Sorry.
How about now? Nope. All right.
Hello? Hello? Okay, here you go.
My name is Amy Roth. I live in Springfield, not far from here. And I bring 4 years of experience in the medical marijuana industry through my own personal research and hands-on experience working at Breakwater Dispensary in Cranberry, New Jersey, one of the 6. I was there for a little under 2 years. I am New Jersey medical marijuana patient card holder, and I use my personal experience and research to work with individuals who are treating chronic and debilitating conditions through the use of medical cannabis. I also advocate for better policy in New Jersey and have testified in Trenton as recent as 2 weeks ago regarding more access for patients, more dispensaries, medical dispensaries. I have to say that medical marijuana, medical cannabis has dramatically changed my life in a humongous way. For one, I no longer live in constant pain from intractable musculoskeletal spasticity, or back pain. I no longer have 100% widespread nerve pain from head to toe because of fibromyalgia. But the best one for me is I don't take Ambien anymore. Ambien is the sleep pill that some people can handle and some people can't. I was able to, and therefore I took it every single night, year after year, which is not how it's prescribed. I haven't taken that in years. Instead, I use a strain specific for sleeping. What I do is make my own butter and my own edibles, and an hour before I go to sleep, with my specific strain, an hour before I go to sleep, I have a little cookie or brownie or whatever, and I sleep for 6 solid hours. It's not an induced sleep like Ambien. It is 6 healthy, wonderful hours. And it has, that has changed my life. I use different strains for different reasons, different times of day, just like I explained with, to replace the Ambien. I have figured out a regime that works for me with the fibromyalgia, with the sleeping, with the widespread pain. Just a little background, I am a commercial space planner and designer with a Bachelor of Fine Art with major concentration in commercial design from the Fashion Institute of Technology. Additionally, I have a master's degree in education as well. Come from a family of educators. My mom, my daughter, my cousins, my aunts, we're all educators. And education, bottom line here, is the key to success. And I was not at the last meeting, but what I've learned, what I've gotten wind of is that maybe a little more education is necessary before you make your decisions on this. I would very much like to come up to Parsippany and not to go down to travel 30, 40, 50 miles to get a medicine that is just brilliantly working for so many hundreds of thousands. One last thing, yes. So there are different ways that you can get educated. Seminars, there are events going on every day, every week. And there's one coming up that is specifically for doctors, lawyers, policy makers. So I assume that's what some of you are here. And it's an organization called Patients Out of Time. It's a 501c3 nonprofit. It's been around since 1995. And again, it's to educate healthcare professionals, policymakers. And May 10th through 12th is the 12th conference coming. And they'll be giving out CMEs to doctors and CEUs to nurses and
30 seconds.
CLEs for the legal community. So I suggest, I have some flyers here, so you can take that. And this actually explains the program. That's just the organization. Or whatever you need. Oh, thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
My name is Debi Madeo, and I'm from Mount Tabor, New Jersey. I love Parsippany. I've been here for 24 years, and the reason I came is because Parsippany is local to every single major highway, and I was a home care nurse. So I could jump on 24, 80, 280, 23, 287, I don't have to go on. And Parsippany, it has a very diverse population. It's been great. I raised my kids here. I also have a disabled son who goes to school here. So I just think Parsippany is the hub for a lot of industry because it's so local to all the highways. And it has a lot of opportunities location-wise, you know, on major highways and things like that. I am a medical cannabis patient. But in the state of New Jersey, you know that I don't have protection for my job, so I do not use medical cannabis. But I do have condition. I have had scoliosis, so I had a fusion T12 to L4 with Harrington rods. I had it done in 1982, so one of the side effects of that is really bad, intractable, muscular spasticity and pain. So I'm in pain all the time, but you know, I take Soma, I take Baclofen, they can prescribe me every single drug in the world. If I go to my job, I just give them a prescription and I'm okay, but not with the cannabis, and it would be nice. My son also has a seizure disorder. He was a 24-week preemie, and he is going to be in the program. The program is not user-friendly. And I'll tell you this, when Phil Murphy added these 5 diagnoses, and I work at Cancer Institute in New Jersey, we do a lot of research, we do a lot of clinical trials, we see the worst of the worst. And I can tell you that little old ladies that were 73 years old, little old men, they wanted the ointments, they wanted the rubs. And I can tell you this too, some of them are getting their prescriptions mailed in from California. They want to use it. People want to use it. They don't want to use opioids. They're afraid of fentanyl. They're afraid of all these addictive opioids. Even though they are terminal patients, they still want to have a quality of life where they're not, you know, all drugged out. So I think it would be great. It would be a great opportunity for Parsippany. Like I said, I moved here because my taxes is low, because we have a lot of industry, and just to court an industry that is a multi-billion-dollar industry, I think that would be great. We have, if I drive in Parsippany, we have a lot of bars, we have a lot of places where we play the lottery, we have the Elks Club, we have bikers, we have hoovers, we have all kinds of stuff. And everybody gets along. And they're really, like I said, I've been here 24 years and I have never had any type of problem. And like I said, most people that smoke marijuana, they're not going to get up and make a problem because they're going to sit home and they're going to smoke marijuana. I mean, that's just, you know, that's just how it is. But for people to continue to go to jail for a plant is ridiculous. And like I said, the opportunity for growth and industry and to keep my taxes low, I would really appreciate that. So, I mean, if we could court the industry and have them come, like I said, I think it would be great. And you know, as being a resident, and again, if I'm gonna go down and get medical cannabis, I'm like everybody else. I have to go to Belmar, I have to go to Cranberry, I have to go to all these places that I've never even heard of. Blackwood, I'm from up here, I don't know South Jersey, I have no idea. But that's the only places you can go. Like I said, it would bring a lot of industry up to Parsippany, a lot of money up into Parsippany, because you see everybody is tripping over themselves to learn about the cannabis industry, to be an attorney for the cannabis industry, to be a woman for the cannabis industry. I mean, it's crazy if you see everything. So to have fears, and a woman said to me today, she goes, my son wants to get a prescription for medical marijuana. Are you afraid it's going to be, I'm afraid it's going to be a gateway. I said, well, what's the alternative? What is the doctor going to give him? Oh, they can put him on Xanax. That's the gateway. Yeah. So like I said, I'm a Parsippany resident. Please keep my taxes low. Please, you know, cannabis industry would be great. Thank you.
All right. Good evening. Name's Christian Velasquez. I'm from Dover, New Jersey, so I'm in this area as well. And currently I have to go all the way down, just like everybody else, hour and a half away to go get my medicine. And I think it would be really great if Parsippany would have a medical dispensary here. I live 10 minutes down the street. It'd be awesome. Close to work. I don't have to go out of my way for it. Cannabis doesn't discriminate. As you can see, patients are all ages, from infants to the elderly. And what cannabis helps the most are the elderly, and we should be taking care of them. They shouldn't be prescribed all these crazy medicine. I don't know if you see, of course you do, the medicine on TV, like a big long list of side effects. We shouldn't be prescribing that to people. If people want to medicate with a natural herb that's non-toxic, that hasn't killed anybody, they should have the option to do so. Okay, Governor Murphy did a wonderful thing last weekend. He finally opened up the medical marijuana program. You no longer have to be dying and severely ill to get prescribed cannabis in the state of New Jersey. Now people with chronic pain, migraines, anxiety, and Tourette syndrome can also indulge in cannabis and find relief with cannabis. And with that comes thousands of patients. Thousands of patients that live here in Parsippany and that are scared to come out because they're stuck in the weed closet. You know, they're your lawyers, doctors, nurses, everyday people. Okay, we're not trying to hurt anybody, and we should be able to medicate the way we want to. There's not too many dispensaries up here in North Jersey, and there's a couple in Montclair and Woodbridge. You know, Woodbridge, it's really expensive there, and like it seems the farther you go south, there's more dispensaries, the price is lower. Up here in Woodbridge, they're charging me $66 to buy an eighth, which is the smallest amount that you could buy. Down in Belmar, they're charging $55. You know, I don't even think there should be a price on it. We should be able to have home grow, and I should be able to cultivate it in the privacy of my own home. Because what comes now with it being legal, well, just with the medical program being more expanded, there's going to be less availability for patients in these dispensaries. So now, not only do you have to drive an hour and a half, they might not have the strain that you need. You know, you shouldn't have to go through that. A patient should have their strain available at all times, right there. And the whole therapeutic thing, growing it too. It's not, you know, a big drug. They're not manufacturing it like all these crazy drugs that they make. It's a plant. It grows like tomatoes, trees. You know, it's natural. And yeah, we all have an endocannabinoid system. Every one of us in this room, every one of you. You know, some of us in this room have higher cannabinoid levels than others. I know I have really high cannabinoid because I smoke every day. You know, but it's all things that our body are made to receive. Okay, cannabinoids get metabolized in your fat cells because it's like a vitamin. Our body wants it. The reason alcohol gets out of your system and all these other cocaine, all these other drugs get out of your system so fast is because they're toxic. Our body is rejecting them. We don't want them in our body. My body wants cannabis. And I think if you guys gave it a try, you guys probably would want some cannabis as well. I just think we should really stop the stigma. We've been lied to for the last 80 years. The marijuana became illegal in 1920, so it's no longer, we're not living in those times anymore. This is 2018. That thinking's from last century. And I really think that Parsippany should come out and help the patients. Because right now the state is trying to legalize recreational use, and you guys just passed a ordinance to ban recreational cannabis here in Parsippany. And okay, that's cool because I'm a firm believer that all cannabis use is medical, and I really think that you guys should stand up for the patients and be our voice in Trenton. Thank you.
Hi, my name is Aubrey. I'm from Sayreville, New Jersey. By way of introduction, I am a mother of 3. I'm a patient, medical marijuana patient. I'm also an advocate for my fellow patients, especially children and their caregivers. I try to help out a lot of parents of special needs children. I drive all over the state all the time to meet with these families. And most of the time, the parents they don't want help cooking it down to oil. They want to take a nap. And they ask me, can you just watch it on the stove or however they're making it? Can you just watch it so I can take a nap? Specifically, I'd like to talk about our youngest patient that we just lost in the program. In January, Governor Murphy contacted Jake's parents on a Thursday and said, I know about your story. I want to do something about it. I'm going to hold a press conference. I want you to come. Both Governor Murphy and his wife planned to go meet Jake. That press conference happened that Tuesday. Jake died the Sunday before. And Jake's parents had to drive all the other distances that you're hearing everyone else say, and then cook it for 15 hours. And at that point, they still only got 10 days of oil out of the state maximum allotment for Jake. So I know in speaking with several towns, there's a lot of concern and a lot of talk about the children of the town. And I assure you that we're all worried about the children in Parsippany too. And as a matter of fact, studies have shown that in towns where there is a regulated medical marijuana system, you will have less black market drugs, drug abuse, overdoses, because of the opioid epidemic that we see in New Jersey right now. The governor was very eloquent in his words and right on point when he said we could be using medical marijuana as an offensive tool. No longer does it have to be you're sick and dying, now you qualify. Why don't we offer the medical marijuana before we offer Vicodin and Percocet and everything else? It's a natural, safe, effective medication. There is a way to separate how you feel as a town with recreational and medical. There is a way. And I'm here tonight to speak for those children, for those parents that can't be here tonight because they can't afford to take off work or they can't get someone to watch their special needs children. That's who I'm here about tonight. I was able to speak with Governor Murphy just last week. And my story, you can get. You can see that online. But tonight, I'm here for those parents and those patients that shouldn't have to be driving like this to all these faraway places. Parsippany is beautiful. Actually, I think my son's football team played in Parsippany. So I know you guys have a beautiful town. Let us come. Let us come as patients and buy our medication. We can get opiates in ShopRite or CVS or Walgreens. Let us come. We'll stop at a restaurant. We're going to buy gas. And I invite you to go take a look at the dispensaries that are currently running. Talk to their towns. Talk to their police departments. Ask them if there's been more trouble around those dispensaries, because I guarantee you that there hasn't been. People are patient. We're talking about something that's medical. I don't have to prove to you that it works because that's already been done. So now let's show compassion. Let's join the rest of the state. It looks like New Jersey's going in this direction anyway with recreational, but let's join the state in trying to put compassion back into this program. Patients waited far too long as it is. We lost so many in that time. Thank you.
Your pen ran out.
from Patterson, New Jersey. I'm here to speak in favor of a medicinal marijuana dispensary for Parsippany. First, I would like to say that I'm disappointed in your decision to ban legal adult use dispensary. I am glad to know that many members of the council are in support of medicinal marijuana access for the people in Parsippany. With the state's recent move to expand access to many potential patients in the state, the Coalition for Medical Marijuana is projecting 1 million registered patients by the year 2020. And access for patients thus far in the state has been a disgraceful injustice. And considering, especially with the number of patients to be projected, to ban a medicinal dispensary in Parsippany would continue that injustice for the people of the town by limiting access. Further, it is theorized that the more dispensaries that are allowed or that are operating in the state, it's potential for competition, which would lower prices to the patients in the state. Also, the state is also looking to have pharmaceutical companies study cannabis as medicine, and to allow pharmaceutical companies in the area to study it as medicine, yet ban it as medicine would be hypocritical and add insult to injury to the patients of Parsippany. Like pharmacies, dispensaries can be upscale establishments that do legal business. Cannabis has been showing great promise as an exit drug from harder drugs, including alcohol. There was a recent study that came out just in the last 2 days, but in November of 2017, the American Journal of Health did a report showing that where cannabis is legalized recreationally, there has been a 6.5% reduction in opioid-related deaths. And February 2017, a drug and alcohol dependence report showed a 23% reduction in opioid-related hospitalizations. Where medicinal marijuana was more easily available, there was a reduction in overall prescription use, all prescription drugs. By welcoming dispensaries, you are supporting the patients and potential patients in your town, and access to life-saving medicine. The argument here is not whether cannabis is good or safe or not. The argument is, do you want to continue to stigmatize patients and limit access? Thank you.
Hello, my name is Wayne Burrini. I want to say thank you for taking the time to listen to us.
Where are you from, Wayne?
I am from Randolph, New Jersey. Little Randolph, not as big as Parsippany. I'm a New Jersey medical marijuana program patient. I go to Woodbridge. Just to let you know, to get to Woodbridge, I got to pass Parsippany, and that's how I get to Woodbridge. I'm only going to speak on medical marijuana. I'm one of only 18,000 patients. I'm not sure what the number is. I think it's somewhere between 400 to 600 of us die every year. That's how hard it is to get into the program. Governor Murphy, thank God, is taking over. He's showing compassion, unlike Governor Chris Christie. We have 6 dispensaries open now, actually 5. The sixth one's supposed to open up at the end of April, and there's 18,000 of us. Governor Murphy wants to get it to the point where we're like Michigan. Why? Because we have the same population as Michigan. almost a little over 9 million. But the Michigan program, medical program, has 230,000 patients. 230,000 patients. That's because like conditions like we were just passed last week with Governor Murphy's executive order, anxiety, chronic pain, Tourette syndrome, migraines. Now those patients can get medical marijuana cards. All I want to say is it'd be great, because I'm in Parsippany all the time, it'd be great if you guys would at least consider a medical marijuana dispensary. And I just want you to know, medical marijuana is already here in Parsippany. Today, I was on, I was in Parsippany, medicating, and I saw that beautiful building right across from the Hilton. It's empty. Beautiful building. Be a great dispensary. Just something to think about. I'd like to buy my medicine here, and I'd also love to spend some money here. Instead, they gotta go all the way down to Woodbridge. Just something for you guys to think about. Thank you for listening.
See why the pen ran out. Jeez. Hello, my name is Hugh Giordano, and I am from Blackwood, New Jersey, 57 Argyle Avenue. We do exist. I wanted to speak in Resolution 2018-073 in support of it. I was here last time for the adult use, but now we are here for a viable industry that can help us and help patients. So mine is a little bit different. I'm a union representative for the OCW Local 152, represent cannabis workers, and we represent the Woodbridge dispensary, which is called the Garden State Dispensary. And once again, I'm offering everybody up here the opportunity to take a tour of the dispensary we want to. The council people in Toms River accepted and will be taking a tour of our dispensary. So again, I offer the same thing to you. So let's go over a few things. Just to, again, cannabis. If cannabis was legalized 100% tomorrow, it would create a $1 million jobs by 2025. On the federal level, would bring in $132 billion. That is huge. I'll give you some examples. In Colorado, alcohol brought in $38 million. Cannabis brought in $119 million in tax revenue. In California, again, it is estimated that it will bring in $1 billion, and they had a robust medical program prior to this, and $100 million in savings due to the judicial system and the police force. They also currently have in California approximately almost 50,000 people that work in the dispensaries as of now, and most of those people are medical dispensaries because the adult use was just passed not too long ago. So most of it was on the medical program. LA made $3.2 million just through tax for licensing and fees. That's money that can go right back to the township of Parsippany to help those with their taxes for the senior citizens, after school programs. This money can go right back into the system again. When we're looking at the job creation of it, it is estimated that, again, the cannabis will create more jobs than public sector, than government and public utilities, and manufacturing. So this is an industry that will be better than even manufacturing, which has been the heart and blood of our country. So that's I think a big thing. When we're looking also at small business, the small business, we're always talking about creating jobs for small business and supporting the small business owners. Cannabis is a small business creator. It is estimated that 1/3 of people who get into the cannabis industry start with $50,000 or less. They're called caregivers, so they're small retail places that provide medication for folks. So this allows people in Parsippany to have the opportunity who are business savvy to create a small business. And that, again, brings in tax revenue. It's a great way to influence people to do the right thing. Also, if we're looking at it, in the first year in the small business world, 70% of the people who created a dispensary were making profits. So not only is it a way to create small business, it's a small business that works, which is major for working class people. The UFC represents people in cultivation, in adult use for edibles, for medical, for edibles and infused, service firms, and auxiliary products. But one thing to understand too, with as far as we talk about security and union in our union dispensary, the people that work there for security are retired police officers. Who better to serve your community than someone who is a retired police officer, who is also a former FOP or PBA union member. So as a unionist, I'm all about that. I also like to know that a lot of retired veterans work in the cannabis industry as well, for the security side of it. Again, they're well trained. Why would we not want those folks to work in this industry? The consumers are asking for this.
30 seconds.
Okay. So just real quick, this one because of the opioid issue that's going on too, and I do believe as a union rep, I have to take this very seriously because our members suffer from opioid abuse as well. When you have an IBEW and the labor union saying they want to put their members and they're going to pay for the medical cannabis, that tells you something. In Congress, just to let you know, they spent $250 million lobbying for opioids. One opioid pill, just one brand, made $3.2 billion, and that was only 30% of the total opioid industry. So as a unionist, I'm asking you to please pass this resolution, have a alternative treatment center here, create good jobs, good union jobs, and let's help people who are sick, specifically the patients that can apply for this the program now. And again, please come visit the Garden Dispensary. I want you to come. Thank you.
Hi, good evening. My name is Sanjay Chaudhari. I'm a Randolph resident. Thank you for giving me the opportunity to address you. I'm also a cannabis patient here, like a lot of people, and I sort of just wanted to talk about not so much my own personal medication needs, but the lens that we sort of look at this plant under. Some people say marijuana, some people say cannabis, but then if we look at why we say marijuana or marijuana, it's a Spanish term for cannabis. It's become the most common nomenclature for this plant, even though in this country we predominantly speak English. The main used word is a Spanish word for cannabis. So that's why a lot of people sort of, now to be more politically correct, don't say marijuana and say cannabis when we're describing a plant. I'm a horticulturalist, a former Rutgers certified master gardener. So use binomial nomenclature, so the plant is technically cannabis sativa, cannabis indica, cannabis ruderalis, but it's been, from early on in its history in this country, been stigmatized in that way to associate it with the Latino community, specifically the Mexican community, with marijuana. So, just sort of the framework of why we're afraid of it and why we even call it marijuana is sort of steeped in a lot of, bigoted history of the plant. For the medicinal purposes of the plant, so many people have spoken on how it's helpful for cancer. We all have a endocannabinoid system. Most of our organs have receivers in them to receive cannabinoids. There's over 100 different cannabinoids. Recently, they thought there was only 50 or 60, and now they found over 100. There's over 3,000 strains of cannabis. They all have a unique cannabinoid blend, and that's why it's helpful for so many different conditions. It can be a strain that's helpful for everyone. Our organs have cannabinoid receptors that are waiting to receive cannabinoids. We make them, everyone here, even opponents of cannabis, our bodies make cannabinoids in small amounts that are very similar to THC.
I used to work with autistic children and autistic adults, and for them it's especially beneficial. Also, Stanford's conducted a lot of studies on autism and cannabis, and they found a lot of statistical significance between individuals, both children and adults in the autistic spectrum, being significantly lower in naturally occurring cannabinoids. So a lot in other states, in Pennsylvania and California, so in other states, autism is also covered in the program because it can help functioning of their ability. And for children, because they are lacking in cannabinoids, a lot of children under the age of 5, if they're supplemented with cannabinoids, can have higher functioning, conceivably for their entire lives. So I just wanted to say, please think about having a dispensary here. It could be a big economic boon for the town, and for me, coming from Randolph, it would be far closer than going further south or driving over an hour and a half, which I have to now. Thank you very much.
Good evening. With council permission, I'll sign in afterwards, just to save everybody's time. My name is Kevin Robinson. I've lived in this area for 11 years now, right in Parsippany. I am not a medical marijuana card holder, user. That's not why I'm here. My doctor wanted me to actually get that, but unfortunately the doctor referred me to, I can't afford, so I'm on a very large list of prescription drugs. All I'm asking is for compassion. My mother, who was 42 when she passed, in 95, when she got pregnant with me, she got sick. And that sickness triggered illness after illness. She had cancer, she had to go through chemotherapy, she had MS. By the time I was 6, she could no longer walk. She was fine to a wheelchair. And as a child, I knew it wasn't going to be very long. I wasn't begging for a miracle for her to live, although, of course, that's what I wanted more than anything else. She was the only kind, compassionate, caring, and protective person I ever knew. All I was asking for was for the pain to stop. She was in the hospital at least once a month for my entire life, if not multiple times, and she was always in pain. I'm just asking for those that may be in similar situations to just think about the mercy that can be shown. And thank you for your time.
Okay, see no one else come forward, I entertain a motion to close the public hearing.
Motion? Second, Grignani.
Motion made by Mrs. seconded by Mrs. Grignani. Roll call. Mr. DePiero?
Yes.
Ms. Grignani?
Yes.
Ms. McCarthy?
Yes.
Mr. Peterson?
Yes.
Mr. Carriffy?
Yes.
Floor is closed. Thank you.
Council President, if I may,
Yes.
just for the record, since everyone here has spoken, has apparently not read the resolution that we had. The resolution in no way opposed medicinal marijuana. In no way did it oppose that. It strictly opposed recreational marijuana. I just want to be clear because Laurie was speaking assuming that we're opposed to both, and we're not. At least I'm not.
Okay, Mr. DePiero, for the resolution 2018-71.
Resolution 2018-071. Resolution of the Township Council of the Township of Parsippany Troy Hills authorizing emergency temporary appropriations. Capital Improvement Fund. Motion to approve the above resolution.
Second?
Motion Motion made by Mr. DePiero, seconded by Mrs. Peterson. Roll call, Mr. DePiero?
Yes.
Ms. Grignani?
Yes.
Ms. McCarthy?
Yes.
Ms. Peterson?
Yes.
Mr. Carriffy?
Yes.
Motion passes.
Resolution R 2018-072, resolution of the Township Council of the Township of Parsippany, Troy Hills, supporting the 2018 U Drive, U Tax, U Pay, distracted driving crackdown. Motion to approve the resolution.
Motion?
Motion made by Mrs. McCarthy, seconded by Mrs. Peterson. Roll call, Mr. DePiero?
Yes.
Ms. Grignani?
Yes.
Ms. McCarthy?
Yes.
Ms. Peterson?
Yes.
Mr. Carriffy?
Yes.
Motion passes.
Council President, if I may please.
Yes.
We had many residents, non-residents come up here this evening talking about this resolution. If I may, I'd like to table this so that we may have more information on the medical marijuana resolution. The stories that we heard are heart-wrenching. And I myself would like very much to visit the facility in Montclair. I've never been there. I don't know very much about medical marijuana, but I would very much like to ask this council to please, let's have some more information. Maybe we can have a forum here in Parsippany with some of our residents, asking how they feel about the proposal on the medical marijuana dispensaries. Thank you.
Ms. Grignani, is that a motion?
I would like it to be a motion, please.
Okay, so motion made by Ms. Grignani. Do you have a second?
Second.
Second by Mr. DePiero. Roll call. Mr. DePiero?
Yes.
Ms. Grignani?
Yes.
Mrs. McCarthy?
No.
Ms. Peterson?
No.
Mr. Carriffy?
No.
So the motion fails. Now we are back to voting on the resolution.
I'm going to read this next, and just for the record, this resolution is in support of Governor Murphy's Executive Order Number 6 to expand access to medical marijuana through the use of ATC. So we're supporting what has already been written at the state level. Resolution 2018-73, resolution of the Township Council of the Township of Parsippany, Troy Hills, supporting Governor Murphy's Executive Order Number 6, 2018. Motion to approve the resolution by myself.
Second.
Motion made by Mrs. Peterson, seconded by Mrs. McCarthy. Roll call, Mr. DePiero.
I support most of the items in this executive order as far as increasing dispensaries throughout the state and lessening the requirements to avail themselves of marijuana of some form or other. I support that. But this particular resolution also says we should locate one in Parsippany and we should change our zoning to allow it. That portion I need more study on, and so for that reason I'm going to vote no.
Ms. Grignani?
I too will be voting no.
Mrs. McCarthy?
Yes.
Ms. Peterson?
Yes.
Mr. Carriffy?
At the last meeting that this was discussed, I know I addressed you, sir, and some of the other residents and people that were in the audience. And I voted for that other resolution because I'm against recreational, but I clearly stated to you and to the other people here that my heart goes out to everyone. And you, sir, keep up the fight. And thank you, sir, for your service. I stated back then at their last meeting that I'm totally in support of medical marijuana. If that's going to help people and it's going to get people off of the opioids and it's going to assist cancer patients, people dealing with pain and this and that, I don't know how anyone can be against that. So I vote yes.
Motion passes 3 votes to 2.
Resolution 2018-074. Resolution determining the need for the Baldwin Oaks Senior Citizen Affordable Housing Project. Motion to approve the resolution by myself.
Second.
Motion made by Ms. Grignani, seconded by Mrs. McCarthy. Roll call.
We need some discussion on that first. Mrs. Salmon, would you tell us what this is all about?
Yes, Baldwin Oaks is, units, 250 units of, affordable housing. It is part of our, plan right now for, COA, or covering the need and the demand of our COA requirement. However, what I would like to say is this resolution is just, there's no financial or
Hey, Jeff.
noted in number 3, nothing.
Did you hear that?
Yeah, I got every bit of that.
We won.
I know.
We won.
Success.
Dude, you rock, dude. Dude, thank you for coming. Dude, it's because of you that we got this, and I was crying this whole fucking meeting. I'm telling you, dude. Thank you, because
The fruits of our labor.
it's paying
shows.
off, man.
Yeah, we'll change it. We'll change it a little bit.
Yes.
We only need to change a few minds.
That's it.
Yeah, that's all we need.
Don't tell us we're wasting our time, because we ain't wasting our time, man. You just saw what just happened. Man.
Very emotional, very powerful.
Yeah, man.
down
You gonna smoke?
Yeah,
I have my weeds in the car.
Can you smoke that?
Can I share some of yours?
No.
See, now look at this. If you're in a wheelchair, look at this. You're screwed. You're screwed in a wheelchair, bro.
I got a great video for you. I got to get it to you.
Okay.
Of my son. You know, he's in the accident.
Yeah.
Right? When he had to go to court for his from the accident.
Right.
He got stuck in Colt's Neck, pushing the button. He's
Oh,
in a wheelchair.
yeah.
It's like
Sure.
35, 40 degrees out. He's freezing, and then you got to go around the outside, and then they had to come back into the other door because there was no ramp in the front.
No, of course not.
So they finally opened the door on the side for him because the button didn't work, and the chairs are right inside the door, and they're zip tied together because that's the courtroom protocol because they don't want people picking up the chairs and throwing. So when they opened the door, he couldn't even get his wheelchair in there. They had to come with pliers and cut all the zip ties away and move the chairs to make them a spot.
Where was that? Colts Neck?
That was in Colt's Neck.
We gotta go to Colts Neck.
I already did Colt's Neck. So,
oh man.
So we come back like 2 weeks later, and they're putting in probably because I called the county and I made a complaint about the access for handicap. 2 weeks later, we come back. I don't know if it was because of my phone call. They're putting in like a $30,000 wheelchair ramp.
Oh yeah.
You know, masons are out there. Masons, trucks pulling.
I want to see that here. I want Masons out here by next week.
Yeah, that's what they should have here. This should be a nice gradual ramp. I don't know what the does it have to be every entrance or they only
Well,
have,
just think about it. If you're in a wheelchair and there's a fire,
right?
That's what I'm saying. For a safety issue, if there's a fire, you're screwed. You're not getting out of here. You're screwed. My cannabis is in the car, so I have to get one.
We'll close the door.
All right, yeah, I'll close the door. That was amazing. Truly amazing. I want to thank everyone that's here tonight. Oh, how you doing? You're the mayor?
Yes.
Oh, I'm Lefty Grimes. Nice to meet you, sir. I saw you listening. What'd you think about this whole thing? It's good stuff, right?
Yeah, it is. I think definitely appealing to compassion is the right way to go.
Yeah, yeah.
I heard what you said 2 weeks ago, too. So.
Oh, you did? Okay.
Well, I watched it on my new
okay.
Because the HD is a lot better than what
Yeah,
I have in
I
town
bet.
hall, so.
I bet.
You're, I think you're doing it right. I think if you change hearts and minds.
Yeah.
And you're starting in the right spot.
Yeah. Proud of your counsel. Yeah, your counsel's good.
Was it 3-2 vote?
Yes. Yeah. They almost tabled it too. They were going to table it. Glad they didn't.
They wanted to go for it.
Good.
Hashtag be a good neighbor.
Good testimony, man. Good job. Yeah, I have to go get my cannabis outside. Let's go get our cannabis. I guess they're still having a meeting for a while.
Who cares?
Yeah. I need my. We won. This was a huge victory. Oh my goodness.
Yes.
Oh,
A lot of work going into
Yeah.
this here.
Yeah, man. Thank you so much for coming, man.
Yeah.
After having to sit there, like, oh, are you kidding me? You came here?
No,
I know.
radiation today, tomorrow.
You just had radiation today.
Tomorrow's-
Jesus.
tomorrow's Christ.
And tomorrow too?
I'm the fucking, I'm the
But-
Iron Man. I'm not quitting.
But you know what? This will get you going. This will keep
Well, that's
you
what
going.
it does. It perpetuates
It's
my
amazing.
wealth.
Yeah.
I mean, I wish the other times.
Here. This button works.
Yeah, lots to say. And mine's one of them. So I can't be more motivated.
This
you know?
don't work.
I was sitting there, right? And the mayor popped out and he pointed at me, and I'm like, "Talking to you was pretty cool."
Yeah.
He had, I know, man. He had some pretty interesting things to say. His council was very divided on things, but I think we changed some minds tonight.
Are we still live?
Probably.
So here's our camera. If you got anything to say, you can say it to our people watching us. Yes, they're watching and they were very happy to see what they saw. I don't think. Yeah, I'm not sure they expected that. Y'all didn't expect that, but it happened. Yeah, it happened because of these guys and Don and all the people that spoke tonight. Oh man, Don made me cry.
Yes.
Jesus, God, that story.
Story about the baby just broke me.
Jake.
Poor Jake. Holy Christ.
Yeah, there's a lot of suffering in New Jersey, and like that cop said, how can anyone say no? The mayor, he's a cop.
How could you say
How can you say no to compassion? You can't. If you're a God-fearing person, or if you just have love in your heart, no.
When I was talking to him, I said, look, you guys are ground zero. You live right in between two of the hugest arteries that import and export drugs in and out of this area. To sit here and think that it's not in Parsippany, you're fooling yourself. You couldn't agree with me more. So happy. Man, it was confusing as hell getting here.
Every road up here is that way. Out from here, you get to 287, it only says north.
Right? Exactly. And then I put in Parsippany Road versus Parsippany Boulevard, which landed me in a residential area. I'm like, wow, this is an odd place for abuse report. Luckily enough, I found the police station. I was redirected. Thank goodness.
4 years studying biology, probably 6 years studying biology in college. Went on to work in Johns Hopkins in cancer research for 20 years and also in private industry for 20 years. His take, and like you say, opportunity, you have opportunity to do things, right? He's like,
I'm gonna get a photo
from a
with these
federal
guys.
standpoint.
Photo, guys.
Saying we were too loud over there.
Oh, okay. Don't miss this photo, Wayne. Come on. You missed the last one because you're smoking weed.
Some people are still in there. I mean,
Oh, they're still in there?
well, like it's
Who's
our
in there?
stoners are so rude, man. We just leave. Oh, you passed us.
Thank you. See you later. We got we
It
wanted.
was a big roast.
It ended at 10 o'clock anyhow, it was like 9:30.
Yeah, it's really getting late. Good job, guys.
Fellow Randolph again.
Yeah, 2 days in a row.
So
Not bad.
see you outside of Randolph, man.
It's on my
That's good though, that's progress.
Yeah, big
You
time.
know what, the medical comes, the recreational will come after.
Yeah,
Yep.
When they see how much money, it doesn't matter.
I mean, when most of the people are already on the medical program.
Yeah, now anyone that wants to get on the
And like now
medical
it's
can really
expanded,
get on there.
anybody can get medical now.
Anxiety.
Medical now.
Doesn't have anxiety.
I know, but here's the thing, you have anxiety if you go to work and they drug test you and you get fired, so you still,
Right,
you still don't have protection from your job,
Okay, let's get
It'll
a
happen by the end of the year.
you know?
Let me end the video. Let me end the video and we'll take some pictures. Okay. Thank you everyone for showing up and watching. And this is great. Hashtag they shall grow. Hashtag they shall grow, not old. As we that are left grow old. Age shall not weary them, nor the years condemn. At the going down of the sun, and in the morning, we will remember them.